Another planet, now I'm off of you like Janet. Can this be a real thing? Can I?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the shit show. Thank you, Ruben, and thank you, Orange Hat, for joining me tonight. I had another person I invited, but I didn't announce it or anything because I just wanted to make sure that if they showed up or not. They might still. I put the link out to them. It's a girl, so she might show up.
Ooh.
If she does, I'll introduce everybody to her. But sorry about my outfit. I was playing a fun drinking game with a few people, new people, friends of mine that I've just made, and a couple of them are, I think, one of them's in the chat right now. It's May Musings. Hello, thank you for stopping in, saying hi. Yeah, a lot of shit has been hitting the fan in the last few weeks with all this crap that's going on. I mean, we're never going to run out of shit. I'm telling you, there is so much shit. It's disgusting and I hate it. But if we don't talk about it and get other people to talk about it, then people are just going to go on with their day. And they're not going to realize until it hits them upside the head that this is going on. Because I have 4 sisters and I know 3 of them don't know shit because they don't watch the news. They just go to work, they do their stuff, and they go home, watch TV, like a TV series or a movie. And then they go to bed and they get up and do the same thing. So they don't know about half the stuff. It's things that I share with them in sister chat and stuff like that. That's where they get their news. So, and then half the time they're going, what the hell is this shit? But that's the way it is. So the very first thing that I would like to talk about is this. I watched it and I was just really, really shocked about the information I got from it. So just give me 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm not very good at I thought I had it open, but I've had a few drinks, so just have to bear with me. Okay, let me get this going. Can you see anything, or did I open it yet?
I can see. My eyes are open.
No, okay, darn it.
Nothing on screen yet.
All right, I'm gonna say share screen, and then I think it's this one. Oh God, why am I so? Okay, yeah, this is it. Okay, here we go. This is what I want to show everybody. Let me turn it up. Okay, it's up. I'll make it bigger. Have you guys seen this?
Mm-hmm.
Iowa is All American Town. No, I haven't. So
okay, this is really good. So we'll watch it and then we'll discuss it after you see it because it's very, very informative.
Perry, Iowa is one of the great American suburbs. Quaint shops on the main boulevard, local produce sections at the grocery store, and pristine parks sprinkled throughout the town. It reached a golden era in the 60s and 70s when Tyson Foods opened up its pork factory and
shit
the town's economy. It's a relatively small town with strong values and a very close-knit community.
I just think it's a friendly community, and if you are willing to put out a little effort, I think everyone makes you feel welcome.
Would you consider Perry a good place to grow?
Definitely. I am really pro Perry. I like the small town atmosphere. You get to know people. You walk down the street, they say hi to you. If you need help, you know who you can turn to, that kind of thing.
But Perry, Iowa is about to change drastically, and not for the better. This week, Tyson Foods announced that it will be permanently closing its pork factory in Perry, killing around 1,200 jobs in a town of just 8,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
So as Perry residents struggle to cope with mass layoffs, Tyson Foods has its eyes on a different class of workers. The company is now offering new jobs to asylum seekers in other states like New York. Bloomberg says Tyson's tracking migrants in a massive database. They scroll through the data like Facebook. You see a worker you like, tap hire. They even had a job fair.
So you were at a Tyson fair in New York City not so long ago where Tyson was basically making this pitch. What did you observe when you went there?
They created a database for these new asylum seekers in New York City. So these people would come in, they'd learn a little bit about the company, and for the most part, Tyson had already gone through their various details of their application. And so many of them, 17 the day I was there, and then another 70 a couple weeks later, went off to Tennessee to go start their new jobs as Tyson production workers.
Oh, and the jobs come with perks, not just health insurance. Tyson's also offering lawyers to its illegal alien workers and time off to attend immigration hearings. In 2034, of course, they're firing Americans and offering perks to illegals. This was the Democrat plan all along.
Well, first of all, let's just say we are a nation of immigrants. 460,000 open jobs today. Wow. I have 5,000 farm jobs that I need filled so we can plant the crops.
Vegetables would rot in the ground if they weren't being picked by many immigrants, many illegal immigrants.
You see, even in Florida, some of the farmers and the growers saying, why are you shipping these immigrants up north? We need them to pick the crops.
We reached out to Tyson for comment, and they said they have a very diverse set of employees, and they're proud of it. Ohio Senator and author of Hillbilly Elegy, J.D. Vance, joins us now. I didn't think it was legal, Senator, to axe American workers and hire en masse illegal aliens.
Well, it shouldn't be, Jesse, and we're certainly going to look into whether we can change that, assuming Tyson is operating legally, which we don't even know if they are. We don't know the details of this. All we know, Jesse, is that they are firing American workers and hiring illegal aliens to replace them. This is the entire point of illegal immigration, and Republicans, we've got to hammer this point home. It reduces the wages of American workers by replacing American citizens with foreign laborers who are willing to work at slave wages. It has been the plan, as you said, from the beginning. And what this means is the eradication of the American dream. Every time an American is replaced with an illegal immigrant, it means that an American family loses a good family supporting wage. It means that American companies are literally replacing our own citizens with people who will work for slave wages. That is not capitalism or a market economy, Jesse. That is the decimation of the American middle class via illegal immigration, and it's happening all over the country.
And this poor town's going to get slaughtered. All of those people laid off in such a small town, it's just going to have such a tremendous impact. Are they getting around it legally by saying we're not hiring illegal aliens, we're hiring asylum seekers? Is that how they do it?
Well, that's one of the ways that they do it, Jesse, and we know that the Biden administration has made it easier to basically pretend that economic migrants are asylum seekers. It's one of the reasons why we have to change our asylum laws in this nation. But, Jesse, think about how much of a contrast this presents between the Trump economy and the Biden economy. If you go back to the Trump economy, you had American jobs going to American workers. You had wages rising. Under the Biden economy, you have those American workers getting fired and replaced with foreign labor. This is not an exaggeration. All net job creation, Jesse, you heard me right, 100% of net job creation under the Biden administration has gone to the foreign born. So we are taking an economy that produced prosperity for American citizens and turning it into an economy that produces prosperity for people who probably shouldn't be here in the first place. And I bet you know what Tyson isn't doing, Jesse? I bet they're not drug testing the illegal immigrants who are coming in. I bet they're not asking whether they're bringing fentanyl or drugs into that small town with them. This is the end of the American dream if we let this stuff happen. We've got to reelect Donald Trump, and we've got to get congressional Republicans with some spine to push back against this stuff.
Hear, hear. Thanks for speaking out about this, and thanks for all your work with East Palestine. We really appreciate that. I know every.
Okay.
You want to know what I find extremely intriguing? We have gone back to slavery, and people didn't even notice. We have actually gone back to slavery. Folks, they're going to get paid.
People notice. That's why they're hiring them.
These migrants are going to be paid very little. Very little.
Yeah.
To the point where they are not getting paid for the amount of labor they are doing. That's slavery. And you know, we fought a civil war, and one of the main things that came about or from that was an end to slavery. And yet the Democrats still wanted to push slavery. Well, it took them
They've been doing it for a long
160
time.
years. It took them 160 years, but they finally got slavery back.
But the thing is that they've already had it back. Because again, they basically broke up the black family. Because when the Voting Rights Act was done,
that was a stepping stone. That was a mere stepping stone.
Correct.
You had to basically make the black population feel like they were victimized, continue to enforce it in their minds that they are victims, that they are somehow lesser than they are. Now, not all the black population believes that, obviously. I mean, we have a lot of black conservatives out there and whatnot. And we also had a black president and all that shit, which is absolute proof that there is no freaking racial inequality in this country. But the problem is,
it's square across the board, where that's where I have a problem with all of this, is the whole thing with the census. For one, when they send the census out, why does it have to ask you what your race is at all? What does that have to do with anything?
We're a human race.
That's right. It should be whether you're old, whether you have kids in school, things like that. That's it. That's what should matter, right? How many people's in your household? What does it matter what your skin color is? It shouldn't. See, it's the government's putting that in there, right?
It is slavery, soy-based, Jeremy.
What's been going on the last couple, 3 or 4 years with this whole thing with all the jabs, right? I'm talking about not just COVID, but all the other stuff they've been given, the flu shots and all these other new flu medicines and other things they've been coming out with. And then all these testings they've been doing for everybody, you know, that they cram this thing up your nose, and every one of them, whether you stick it up someone's nose or not, comes back positive, even though they rigged that whole thing just to be able to get the stuff they needed to be able to get the vaccine made. But on top of that, people lost their livelihood because the government said you have to get the shot. Okay.
And lives are ruined.
You have to get the shot. But now we've got 11 million people that we know of that's come over the southern border, no shots. We're getting whooping cough. We're getting the measles. We're getting rubella. We're getting all these diseases again that we had pretty much gotten rid of because people were following all the regimens.
Correct. So then basically the unvaccinated will then basically, if some measles outbreak, you have to get an updated shot. They're going to basically force all the shots on you.
Yeah,
and this is why we need a mass deportation.
Who's making bank off of all these illegals when they have to start giving them the jabs and they start giving them vaccinations and all that. It's all of this I feel all of it has been pushed by all these big pharmaceutical companies.
Yeah, and they'll get money. It's all because again here you get cheap labor, because again that's what people were saying about it. I don't know who it was. Like they always say like the montage. You had the what is it, Nader, and you had Pelosi basically saying, let's bring them in here because then all they're going to do is they're going to mow our lawns, they're going to clean our toilets, they're going to get our groceries or whatever that work the fields. They want the cheap labor. They want the cheap labor.
Yeah, but it's different now. And the reason why it's different is once they come over and look at what they're doing, we're giving them a free place to live. We're giving them 3 meals a day, a phone, clothes, all these things. We're putting them in nice hotels and stuff. And what am I seeing on videos? They're throwing fits when they don't get the right food.
They don't like what they're getting.
Yeah, right? So they're already setting these people up to where me. Where's my stuff? Me, freebies. Okay. So
that isn't capitalism unchecked, Jeremy. But again, Jeremy, it's the end of capitalism.
They think they're going to get. See, that's where they've already screwed up.
Well, what's going to happen then?
They're not going to be taking whatever and letting you guys cram it up their butt because they're not going to do it. There's going to be fights.
But again, you have fights already. You had the shooting in the New York subway yesterday.
Yeah.
But that's the whole idea. You can have all that going.
I know. So you got a group of people that knew all this stuff was planned, that they were planning on getting more and more people in to get Biden in, do all this different stuff, and then start taking over, right? Start pushing people over the border, calling them from Haiti or wherever they can get these people to come to cause chaos. And I'm still waiting because I know stuff's going to happen. I know some bad stuff's going to happen. And they're going to blame it on Putin or whoever they want.
I know, but the thing this is what I'm saying. They create the crisis, and then people are going to demand for police action. Then they have martial law, another bullshit.
And we're going to pay for it.
And that's the whole thing. It's a whole circle of stupidity, where you basically cause the problem, and the people who cause the problem are going to solve the problem by putting more police in the fields. You're going to have again. You did yesterday.
What sucks is, look at all the cities that these people run. Look at all these big cities. They're shitholes.
Yeah.
Basically, what they're doing is they're going to make the whole United States, all the way out to the rural areas, shitholes. Where nobody has anything. So everybody be happy because you have nothing. Nobody's going to be able to.
They want them to be in fear all the time. That's the whole thing. And you had the situation that happened in New York. You had people just a fight was going on, people running away, and then when things got bad, they all cowered. Where are the police? Where are the police? No one wants to do anything. No one wants to get up there and just stop.
But would you want to be a cop? You're making less than minimum wage.
I'm not a cop.
I'm
a vigilante.
Who do you know that would willingly sign up to be a cop or a paramedic or any of these jobs? Are first responders jobs? They're not. They're living in poverty level. Okay.
Yeah.
In Hawaii, in California, in Oregon, in Washington, New York, all these huge states.
Doing that, and
they can't even afford to live there. So that's why you don't have cops. That's why you don't have responders.
Tree Rock Creations. Is that other channel by any chance known as Tim Pool? Because Tim Pool he's hit and miss it a lot of the time. I mean, yes, he's actually possibly accurate in the fact that they want as many illegals in the country as possible so that they can get more house seats.
That's true.
That is a way of illegally packing packing Congress, because they know that these illegals will actually vote Democrat. The fact that all of this is happening, this is why it is. I actually put on Twitter, this is why we need extreme measures taken. Now, I am not saying that we need to absolutely go to war and start slaughtering people. I don't want that kind of violence to go or to actually be started. But what we do need to do is actually start enforcing laws to a much stricter standard. Meaning, I'm sorry, if you do not have any basis for asylum, you are denied. If you try to enter this country, you will not only, or you won't be deported. You will be, however, we will create a new prison system in which illegals will be put in a separate prison from the United States. By the way, it will be funded by the UN, because we will basically say this.
I know, but
Hear me out.
Send them back.
We already have laws.
Yeah,
you
already have laws.
Come over. They continue to come over. They don't care. We've had people that have entered this country illegally over 20 times.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I would basically say to the UN before we fucking leave the UN.
Mm-hmm.
You are going to build a prison system in which illegal immigrants, if you want us to stay in the UN, this is what you're going to do on your fucking dime. You're going to build a prison system in which multiple offenders of crossing borders, seeing how they don't want to learn the lesson of getting their asses deported, because it's either deportation or execution at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's either deportation or execution. And we would rather go the humane way. And instead of execution, we'll do deportation or incarceration. However, we are not going to pay for these people or for care for these people. The UN is so for immigration when we are trying to fix our country. I'm sorry, our country's under siege right now. So yes, we will not freaking pay to have these illegals housed. You will pay us to have these illegals housed. The U.S. has dropped billions into the UN and its allies. We have given over $178 billion to Ukraine. We are giving billions of dollars to Israel. And chances are we also unfroze $8 billion to Iran. Unfortunately, that was the dumbest fucking move we have ever seen or our country ever did, because we actually funded terrorism. So yeah, either Europe and the rest of the United Nations pay their fair share, or we will just start or we will not stop at mere deportation. If they cross the border more than 3 times, the 4th time they don't go back, they go on the ground.
The thing is,
because we are at the point where we can't keep turning them around.
We already have so many laws, but if you don't have courts and police officers and political people that follow through on any of the laws, then you don't have laws. It's just like,
and that is why judges who don't do that.
We have a constitution. They can't do this because of the Constitution. They can't do that because of the Constitution. I said, but if nobody upholds the Constitution, then we don't have a
solution is deportation.
We don't have a constitution if you guys are refusing to enforce the constitutional law. And the second that they stop enforcing constitutional law, they unintentionally suspended the Constitution.
Yeah, we have ranchers right now in Texas that have been arrested because they were trying to defend their land from illegals. They're trying to keep them from killing their cattle, picking their fruit and eating it, or leaving garbage everywhere. I mean, all this different stuff. They have every right to defend their property by the Constitution. But then we have a federal government that says, fuck you, American citizen. Yeah, we're going to take your money. We're going to take your shit, but we're not going to keep you safe. We don't give a shit about that. We want more people over here that do what we tell them, because you don't.
This is why people
why we're in the position that we're in.
The point is,
we're hitting our tipping point.
Yeah, we are right now.
But it has to be mass deportation, period. Deport them, send them back. That's it. And then keep on doing that, and then send those countries the bill. Take it off of anything that we owe them, any debt we owe them completely.
I mean, if I was Trump, after he gets reelected, because he is going to get reelected, I would actually search for a legal recourse of defunding any state that has sanctuary status.
Yes.
I would absolutely fucking defund the states. Because it's like, if
but
you want these illegals, you're going to pay for them on your own fucking dime. The federal government will not pay for them.
The only thing bad about that is what happened under Obama. We got Solyndra. We got all these companies that went belly up, and who had to pay for them? Who had to bail them out? Who had to bail out California?
And I would it would be a chain of events. Here's the thing. Any of these companies that are going to go belly up, you have 2 months to get out of the state and set up elsewhere where the federal government is funded, because we will not bail you out this time. If you stick with the state that is acting in opposition to the betterment of our union, then you are going to suffer the consequences.
So what do you think about this solution? You have a company in California. You've been there your entire life. You live there. You've been there your entire life. You don't like it there anymore. You have to leave. And then again, and then the thing is that you're not rich enough to move. But again, there's incentives that the federal government and the states, like Texas, say, "Hey, come here. You're going to be more safe, less this and that," and you help them relocate. Basically doing an internal exodus for people that want to move, like from like New York, from California, from Illinois to somewhere else, and they set up jobs there and set up job fairs.
I've seen that.
That's what that should be doing.
Yeah, but I've seen them doing that. I've seen companies doing that. Trucking companies are doing it, begging people to come to certain states. We'll give you this much money. We'll give you, we'll do your health benefits. We'll give you set up a retirement account. We'll get you a truck. We'll do all this stuff. And people aren't taking the jobs.
Yep.
So there's lots of stuff like that. It just depends on whether or not it's something that you're
Where is
interested
this? I haven't seen
well, I'll talk to some of my trucker friends on X and I'll see if they'll send me the information again, because there's lots of these people that are doing that. I've seen it. I've shared it with Bruce, a bunch of this stuff before. So they do have that. And I've seen it done with other companies like Firestone, and other companies have done it, depending on going like to Tennessee or, a specific state.
Oh, yeah, the trucker strike. The trucker strike.
Yeah. So there was a lot of
doing that in New York State.
Because what's going on now is you have like California has done this in the past, where somebody had a business in California, then moved to Nevada. They actually continued to bill them because no. You did all your work in California, and you had your patents set up in California, so then we're going to still charge you. You still have to owe us money for the work you did while you were doing it, even though you're living in a different state now. It's stupid because, again, they want to collect money. But what's going to happen is the tipping point is going to be the fact that the stock market can go down. Or some crash happens, or some businesses fail, and then they're going to these companies are going to want the federal government to bail them out, or states will want to be bailed out, because you got New York on the brink of bankruptcy, California. There are these sanctuary city states. This goes to what you said Orange had. They're going to want, we're overrun by these immigrants, so my undocumented aliens, whatever they're going to call them, fucking things. And then we need to be bailed out, and then they're going to say, okay, yeah, and if it's a Democratic federal agency in a Democratic state, they're going to bail out these states, and it's going to be a shit show where you're going to have all these. Then that you'll have a third world country, California. Well, I already see it. You see video that you see it online, where you have Oakland looks like a dump.
Yeah, it looks like a third world country.
New York, downtown Manhattan. They have prostitutes outside there. They have sex slaves. It's insane.
Back in the 90s and the 2000s, when
Giuliani,
we had people leaving their dog shit in the streets and whatnot. We were the kind of people that literally picked it up with a shovel and dropped it off in their fucking yard. I mean, you guys never lived through the shit wars like we did. Just saying.
Well, I've seen that. I mean, I grew up on military bases, so I didn't see a lot of things, okay? Because no one was allowed to do that stuff. You had to rake your yards, you had to take out your trash, you had to keep your houses clean, and you had to pass inspection when you moved out, or you got fined. So, because you're in military housing, so you had to take care of it. So I'm saying, I just never saw anybody that was I never saw graffiti and none of that stuff until we went off base. When we went off base, that's when I started seeing, wow, why do people trash their homes? I just didn't understand it, because I'm like, I'm terrible about cleaning. I clean my refrigerator, I clean my sinks, my toilets. I mean, everything. I want my house clean. And maybe that's why I have allergies so bad, because I grew up being such a meticulous housekeeper. Yeah. Well, not really that, because I'm not sick. I mean, I play in the dirt. I go outside, I get chicken poop on me and stuff like that. But my house is clean, because that's just how I grew up. My mom had 5 daughters. We were constantly cleaning all the time. So, it's just a hard thing to break when you grow up doing it. But it's sad to me when you work hard, whether you live in a trailer, because I have cousins that live in trailers. I got cousins that live in little shacks. My grandpa's house we'd go to every summer. They had what's that black tar paper nailed to the wall outside. That's what his outside of his house looked like. And I was never embarrassed to go there or anything, because we always had fun when we went there. It was great. He had horses. We did all kinds of fun stuff, and he just had a little farm with stuff on it. But the thing is, it was clean, and we had to kill flies in the house and, all stuff, because my grandma liked to clean house. But the thing is, they had respect for their property, because it was theirs. They worked hard to earn everything that they paid for. And when you work hard and you do all that stuff, and your mom is working, or your dad or whatever, and someone comes in your house and steals your stuff, why don't you have the right to defend the stuff that's yours? You know, why do you have to go through so much shit and cost you a fortune just to go to court to make that guy that lives down the street that came in and stole all your shit and was selling it at a pawn shop or whatever, and you're having to take more money out of your pocket and your time from work and everything to defend what was already yours? See, that's bullshit. I mean, it's just not right. It's not right. They're taking our rights away and giving them to people who have no rights to what we have. See, you walk over the border, you're already a criminal. You've already broken the law. That's just like me walking into a store and walking out with something I didn't purchase and walking out with it. We are letting people do this every day and teaching everybody that, oh, it doesn't matter if you work hard for it. Just take whatever you want. And the only people that are punished for it are you and I, the ones who pay taxes, the ones who go to work, the ones who are trying to raise our kids to not steal, not do drugs, not to murder, not to hurt animals, all that. Everything that I just said is, oh, I'm a racist bitch because I think that. Because I think that what you earn is yours. I'm not going to go to your house and take your shit. Just like I don't want you to come to my house because I'm going to use my pistol on you. If you walk into my house, take my shit. Because I worked hard for this stuff, you know, and I had the right to do that. But thankfully, I'm in a state right now that gives me that right. But I feel sorry for all the people that are stuck in these states that are treated like dirt. They take your kid from you because you don't want their kid to cut off their genitals. You know, that's in California, and they're doing it in New York too. A parent can't even say whether their kid should get to have treatment, go to psychiatry or something, except the teacher or counselor at school says, oh, they want their balls cut off because they want to be a girl. It doesn't make them a girl. But now you got a kid that's psychologically damaged, medically damaged, will never have kids, you know, all these things. And we're not going to see the repercussions of this bullshit for 50 years.
For years to come. Yeah.
And to me, it's all nuts. I mean, it's like, what was it? 25 years ago, a guy would put on a uniform or a skirt and high heels and earrings on the TV show MASH. I don't know how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But to get a
Trying
Section
to get out
8
of military. Yeah.
military. Today, they're guys are coming in. They're allowed to wear heels and shit and skirts, and they just say they're a woman, and they let them. That's how can you go to war and know this guy is next to you in a foxhole and he's going to have your back?
Yeah, but that's the thing is that this is what I'm saying. This is like I said, I keep on saying it. This is the breakdown of society. They're doing it step by step, brick by brick. Mm-hmm. They're not doing again. The analogy I use back is when the Taliban blew up those Buddhist temples in I don't know, Afghanistan, I believe it was. I don't know if they did it. They blew them up, and then they break all these idols up. Mm-hmm. They do it by force. What the left is doing it brick by brick, taking down statues. Men can be women, you know. Don't you? And then now they're who is it? Ireland and the UK are banning memes. You can't give it that someone you mispronounce their pronouns, you go to jail for that. It's just the exact opposite. Like if you basically if you're a flasher in the 70s, you had flashers. Yeah. If you do that in public, you get arrested. Now, if you do that you did it in a gym and you call the person, he showed his penis in the women's locker room, then you're arrested for basically saying that he did that. It's reversed.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And now we have companies like Tyson, okay, big companies that's not the same owner anymore. The dad or whatever, the grandpa, whoever started it, has now passed it on to the younger generations. And they're basically turning it into something. I don't know what they're doing. I don't see how they think that this isn't going to help them in the long run in any way to make their business more successful. All the work that their elder or person did, or whoever it was, their grandpa, went through all that work to build Tyson up from a teeny tiny chicken plant in Arkansas to this huge company that goes around the world now. And now they're to me, they're gutting it. I mean, by doing this, I'm not going to buy their shit. I'm not going to buy their stuff.
And another one that
They're
I just
doing
heard
that
about.
to their employees.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy any Tyson bullshit anymore. I'm done with them. I'm done with all the bullshit.
Bullshit.
And also
it's
what's the other one? Like the North Face also did something recently.
Yeah.
And then
I don't
the
know
one I
what it
heard.
was.
Well, the one I heard recently was Advil. Advil's new campaign was that
end racism or end the institutional racism inside pain.
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Pain. Yes. Apparently, pain at the doctor's office, or apparently the doctor's office is racist because they are trying to ask you whether or not you're actually in pain or not, so that they know how to fucking treat you.
And that
so they can't ask questions now. They're just supposed to write.
No, three out of four people. 3 out of 4 people who take Advil that are black do it because they feel oppressed by white people.
Yeah,
it's stupid, and that's their ad campaign. They're pushing this shit all the time, and I basically saw that Obama was the Manchurian candidate. He's not an American citizen. He's not.
Yeah, and this is all leading right into what you wanted to talk about, Orange Hat, because basically we all said it a couple weeks back that we knew that she probably would get a slap on the wrist for all the stuff she did simply because she's going to say, I'm blank.
Well, here's the thing, actually. The judge actually told her that there was a lot of impropriety right there when they did cover that. Mm-hmm. So my topic, folks, is Fani Willis. The judge came back with a decision. She can stay on, but she has to fire her boyfriend. Or he can stay on and she has to step down. So yeah, she's going to be feeling pain no matter what she does in this. Not to mention they dropped like 10 charges against Trump. Yeah. Or 7 or 10 of them or whatever. A lot. And a lot of them were actually the big charges. So not only that, the judge has given the defense, Trump's team, recourse to actually file a complaint against or to the bar or to the state bar. Mm-hmm. They are this judge actually worked with Fani Willis at one point, and this judge, or she thought that, this judge is going to go easy on me. No, this judge just made it easy, or just basically said, you're either off or your boyfriend's off, or also, not only that, you're fucked, and we are giving your opponents the ability to basically make sure you don't practice law again. Uh-huh. However, they have to figure it out for themselves. So this guy, or this judge, he realizes that his decisions are going to be monumentally important for the future of our nation. So he actually tried to middle the road of it. And he slightly leaned a little left because he's still kind of he's like, I'm going to give them the ability to basically fuck you over for the rest of your life. However, they have to figure out how to do it. So yeah, there is that decision. Trump is we also found out that I don't know when this happened, but I know that what's her name, Ronna McDaniel, stepped down from chairman of the RNC. Yeah. And we actually have Trump's daughter-in-law, who's now the head of the RNC. Mm-hmm. And they're actually planning on they're planning on doing a lot of voter reform.
Yeah, her and Scott Presler.
Yeah, Scott Presler. I remember watching him on TV for the very first time when he was just trying to get people to come together and clean up some streets.
Yep.
And how much people were mad at him because he was piling up garbage and stuff because there was so much of it. But just a young kid that saw problems, and instead of sitting around going, well, we need to hire some people to come fix this stuff or whatever, he decided, hey, why can't we just do it? And he started doing it himself. He's earned everything he's done. He's worked his ass off. I have been in many spaces with him, listened to what he had to say, watched so much of that he's done. He came up with his own app to help get people registered to vote. and to share information with each other so that they could make sure that they're making phone calls and all this different stuff. He's just a wonderful person who loves his country and wants to see people be treated fairly, and for people to be able to know that they can register to vote. That just because you're Black or Hispanic or poor does not mean you can't get an ID and register to vote. And he's doing it, and pretty much did it all by himself for a very long time with help of other people. I had lots of friends on X that gave up their miles. You know, you fly, you travel, and you get miles built up on these little cards for hotels and flights and stuff. They were giving him miles so he could get hotels and for him to be able to take flights and stuff like that. So hundreds of people stepping up to help him do more, because they could see what he was doing. See, that shows me that Americans want to work together to get things done. They're willing to do it. It's just they're sick and tired of all these asshole politicians trying to cram their agendas down their throat. If they would just listen to common sense, we could get a lot more done. It's just I don't know why they won't listen to us.
Yeah. I just found out as of 6 hours ago, so I'm kind of late to it. Nathan Wade stepped down, so Fannie Willis is still on the case, but that still doesn't matter. She is so fucking incompetent. Now, soy-based, I don't think that the case is going to be dismissed because the judge refused to dismiss. But however, dismissing some of the charges is a pretty big blow to her. The thing is, folks, I'm not a legal expert, but from what I do understand of RICO trials, RICO cases, if you don't get a perfect freaking conviction in that case, RICO cases are basically career builders or career killers.
Yep.
So if she fails, she's fucked. And guess what? She's failing.
Big time.
And they're all trying to do their best to freaking get Trump. New York State, the state that I live in, sadly, and I'm ashamed of what the state is doing to him, are basically attacking him and his family financially, saying that you guys are going to have to pay this and this and this. And it's like, I'm sorry, but the Trump family has absolutely nothing to do with the Trump case against Donald J. Trump himself. So here's the thing. You can either drop that bullshit charge with that judge, or the Trump family can literally sue the state of New York for malicious prosecution, because what they did was totally beyond the scope of legality. So I like what my Congresswoman Elise Stefanik went after what's her name, Letitia James. She went to the New York bar. It's like what she is doing is completely unethical. There is ample evidence that shows that this entire trial is built on the bias that or with her having a personal vendetta against Trump.
I know, and that's what Jeremy's saying right here about where is it? Darn it.
Fuck yes, and this is a career killer. Yeah, RICO cases are extremely hard, but up in New York, what's her name? Letitia James. She is a fucking racist. I mean, look at her. She has let so many freaking black people who are breaking the laws all over fucking New York City get away with it. She's letting every other freaking ethnicity get away with crime.
Not just that, she testified on the stand that she kept money from her campaign.
That was that was Fannie Willis,
Okay, yeah, but what I'm saying is all this stuff that's come out about Fannie Willis, and he already stepped down, so now it's all in her lap, right? So I mean, look at all the ammunition all these lawyers have, and then all the people that she's already convicted. They're all going to be getting lawyers going through, going, "Hey, man, we got so much dirt on her. It's just going to be a huge, ginormous toilet bowl."
She's also been subpoenaed to testify before Congress.
So,
and not only that,
I just don't see how it's going to even go forward. I don't care how many. And honestly, if she if she gets taken out, I don't see anybody else bringing those same charges up against Trump.
Not
and I don't
successfully.
Win. I don't see how she could even win any case because there's so much bad shit that she's been involved in her past. That's all going to be brought up in court. Whenever she tries to say, well, this, that, the other, they're going to say, how come we trust you? Look what you did. You know, I'm just saying.
If I was on the stand, if I was on trial and she was coming at me, it'd be like, or say if I like committed theft or something, and she's like, so how was anybody supposed to believe you if you stole this stuff? Or I would basically look at her dead in the face and be like, how is anybody supposed to believe you when you stole from your own campaign, miss, or when you have admittedly stolen from your own campaign?
Yep.
How's anybody supposed to take your word seriously? And how's your integrity when you're accusing me of theft, yet you're accusing me of something that you yourself have done? How are you any different from me? I mean, I'm on trial here, yes, but shouldn't you have also been on trial? And if they say order in the court, it'd be like, I'm just saying, Judge, I mean, if she is accusing me of this, I have a right to throw that right back at her.
Yep.
Last time I checked, this was still a constitutional republic, and the First Amendment does allow free speech, even on the frickin' stand.
That's why I think, honestly, I really think that the whole case has crumbled. I just don't see how anyone could listen to this woman at all in court for any case that she has from now on and believe anything she says. Every single thing coming out of her mouth is everybody's going to look at her and say, she took money and put it in her own bank account. She's a thief.
If I was a DA or if I was a defense attorney,
it's not going to work.
If I was a defense attorney and we were, or if I was going to trial and I had to meet the judge in chambers with her, it'd be like, how the hell? Why is she even here? I mean, her integrity is for shit. How is anybody going to believe her?
And everyone
knows that she stole from her own campaign.
Yeah, can't they say I want a different venue or I want to be somewhere else because I don't trust this person? I have a right to don't they have a right to a fair trial?
Yes, they do. Okay. But here's the thing:
if they demand it, how can they not get it to go to a
motion for dismiss? I'd motion for a dismissal. Anytime I am brought up against Fannie Willis, I would motion for a dismissal under on what grounds? She's an unconvicted felon.
And not win because she is crooked as they come, and they know it now. There's so much corruption just in the testimony that she already gave. Yep. It's got enough for every single case from now on to say, hey, you know, I want.
And her crackhead daddy also didn't help her case either.
Well, she wouldn't shut up. She would not shut up. She ruined herself. She's the one that ruined herself. Nobody else had to do it for her. She did it all to herself. And the thing is, I'm thankful. It wasn't exactly what I wanted to hear in court, but the thing is, the fact that judge came up with what he did, I thought was kind of ingenious, really, when you sit down and think about the way it played out, is that he's still sitting pretty because he did do something, and he said it either has to be this or that, okay? And he only gave her two options. And she had to choose one. So either one, if she fired him, then it would make her look like a greedy bitch that got rid of the guy that dragged him through the dirt for all this crap. And then now she's firing his ass because she's got to keep her prestige. But I don't see how anybody at all would even want to be associated with her at all because she is nothing but a crook. They'll all be kind of going, hey, shut the door. You know, she's coming. Yeah. That type of thing. So I honestly don't see how she's going to ever have any cases that's ever going to be convicted.
You know what I would do just to piss her off? If she was walking by like my car or something, I'd make sure, I would make sure to take out my key fob and lock the door while she's walking right by it. It's like, yeah, I don't trust you. What, you racist or something? No, you're an admitted thief.
So the thing is, I have to believe I'm on a jury panel. I'm able to be called in. I have to check. What's so funny?
My jokes.
Nothing. Brian's comment on the Front Porch Conservative.
Oh,
I don't know
okay.
why.
I'll post it so everybody can see it.
Fannie Willis, a greedy bitch. I'm shocked. Shocked, I said. Shocked. This is a shocking experience.
That's what I mean. She's the laughing stock of that state. And how anyone would want to go in front of her in court and not say, this is bullshit. I want a fair trial, and I can't give them with this woman. She lied under oath. She is a criminal, and I don't know how that wouldn't stand up in court. And just like what Emperor said, let me see where it is at now. I'm going to find it real quick. Right here. Okay. If she is proven to be a criminal because she lies under oath, right? And a judge is corrupt, hopefully there's somebody on the jury says, hey, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? So, that's all we can do is hope that something changes, a little at a time. It's a small, tiny win, I think, but it is a win. And it's a win for Trump. They dismissed 6 or more of the big ones off of him. So, it's a small win, and right now I'm going to take as many wins as we can get because, man, we're really hurt for some wins. But this whole thing with Tyson,
the shift is happening.
I hope that we can get more people to say, fuck you is what I'm hoping. But here, I want to show you this other thing that I found after I saw that. I think this is it. Yeah, here it is. This whole thing. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Tyson Foods hiring sparks a boycott. Okay. So the thing is, if we can get other people to join in with us, right? Just like what they did with Bud Light, it can happen. We can do something by canceling these people out. Don't go buy their shit. There's so many other brands that have the exact same type of product that isn't Tyson that you can buy. If we can just go, a month and nobody buy, most people not buy any Tyson products, they'll get the message. I really do believe that. I really do think that it would make a big difference.
Yep.
See, it says here, Tyson Foods is facing a boycott calls for planning to hire 52,000 migrants to work in its factories after closing a plant in Iowa this week. So that was the report that I did earlier.
Tyson, the new plantation. They need them slaves.
So basically, that's exactly it. They're hiring people at half the price or more than half the price than what they had with the other workers, except they're going to give them places to live and sign them up and give them lawyers, just like what Jesse Waters was saying, all that to simply open a whole new plant in Tennessee. And see, is that a Democrat governor in Tennessee or not? Do you guys know anything about Tennessee? About who's running there?
I thought it was Republican, but if it's Democrat, then
I don't know. I didn't look into that part of it because
let me see real fast.
But the thing is that a
Bill
governor,
Lee,
whoever the governor is, and they got this spotlight
Republican.
right on them right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they think Tyson's is going to boost them. And then all the stuff that's been coming out about the mealy worms that they're purchasing from, was it not Norway, but like Finland or somewhere over there to start supplementing and feeding their chickens and their other animals that they raise, and making feed with it and stuff. And I've heard some rumors that they're using some of that protein, stuff from the dried mealyworms to make the breading for the chicken McNuggets. I'm still looking into that, and if I find out, I'm going to definitely bring it up next week on the show. But I'm not going to buy anything Tyson, not one thing. And guess what? I'm in the state that they came from, but I'm not going to buy one thing. I don't care what it is. I will not purchase anything from Tyson just because of when I saw this whole thing. That whole town is probably going to collapse because of what they did. And that's why I said it's scary. Think about all the Walmart stores. That's the only way to get food in their town. They have little Walmart groceries or super centers, and that's the only one. There's no grocery stores around. And if they say, well, we're not doing what we want here, you guys aren't doing it, and they move away, all those jobs are gone, and their way of getting stuff to eat clothing or whatever it is, because everything was built around that. So I'm telling you, they're getting bigger and bigger, and they're squeezing their fist on all the small rural towns because they're saying, F you, if you're not going to give us what we want, then we're going to go someplace else, and we're taking all our money with us. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to help any of us by this kind of thing. The only way for us to win is by boycotting them and showing them with our wallets that we're not going to put up with shit, because that's the only way.
How many people are watching us right now?
Who?
How many people are watching right now?
168.
You should do a poll. You should do a poll.
Yeah, wait, how do I do it? I don't know how to set it up.
You can't do one, or not if you're multi-streaming.
Oh, you can't?
You have to set it up first before you start.
Darn.
No, it would only work on
YouTube?
Yeah.
Or wherever you set it up. Yeah. See, I've done a few. Oh, hi, Devil Flyer. Thank you for stopping in. The thing is that I really still, in my heart, and I know I'm naive. A lot of people say I'm naive and I'm dumb or whatever, because I still believe that we can make a difference. That if enough of us give a shit, we can stop these people.
Oh, youthful. You're so youthful and hopeful for the future.
Look what happened with it did with Bud Light. It made a difference. It really did, because enough people said "F you" to Bud Light, and it hurt them.
But it hurt. It hurt the distributors. It hurt the working man. It was just like it was like a mini pandemic in a way, where they.
Yeah, but the fact is that all the businesses that sell this product have other products. So what you do is, I'm not saying don't go to that business. I'm saying go to that business, but buy everything but Tyson. How are you going to hurt the people if you're still shopping in their store? All the clerks, all the people that work there are still going to have.
It's different. This is different. This is different.
That's what I'm talking about. If we can do that, if we can just tell people, don't buy Tyson. This is what happens. You see what they did, and bring it up to people. I'm sharing it. I've been sharing it all day, off and on my timelines and stuff. On my X, but I'm not really on, I'm not on Facebook. I'm not on some of the other stuff. So, and I shared it in my Discord too, for the few, it's like 166 people in there, but, it's all I can do. It's just do my little part. And if you do it and you do it and you do it, we get enough people doing it, then, maybe something will change. And I shared this with my sisters in sister chat, and they had never heard of it. They were shocked. They couldn't believe it. And I'm like, well, I'm thankful that I was able to share something with them that they didn't know anything about. But until we say we're going to do something, who's going to do it? But see what you just said earlier about Laura Trump, right? And now she's going to be working hand in hand with Scott Pressler. So things are happening. Things are changing. It may be very small right now, but more and more people are getting behind it, because we're fed up. We are sick and tired of being dragged through the dirt and being kicked to the curb when we're the ones paying for everything. We're the ones working, going to work, not getting sleep, working until you're just exhausted mentally and physically, and then knowing half of your check's going to go to a bunch of assholes. They're going to give it to other people that didn't do a thing to earn anything. All these people just wandering over the border, causing illness and disease and crime, raping and murdering people. It's horrid.
Mm-hmm.
And we're paying for it with our money and our hard-earned dollars. And it's disgusting. And the only way it's going to stop is when we say, F it. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you right now, if I was on a jury and some guy was defending his family from an illegal citizen, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to vote for the illegal. Because they're already a criminal. In my eyes, they've already broken the law by coming over the border illegally. Exactly. Period. They're already a criminal. Period.
What happened?
So that's how I see it. But what was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
Just the Fannie Willis thing.
Okay, is that it? You done with the Fannie Willis stuff?
Yep.
Okay, so Ruben, what was that little thing that you said you wanted to discuss?
Well, let's go even darker down the path of hell.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Who had Haitian cannibals on their bingo card? Anybody out there who had that?
Not me.
No,
I did 3 years ago.
No, let me see here. Oh, hold
The
on.
Walking Dead TV series. They had it on their card.
Let me see if I can do this so fast. Let me see here. Can you see that?
Okay, I'm going to open it. I'll bring it up. Here we go. There you go.
Jimmy Chezes, known as Barbecue, is now the most powerful man in Haiti. It's insane. This is insane what they're doing here.
Is it gangs?
It's a gang. It's a gang. It's a gang. I don't know if I could. Oh shoot, maybe it won't work. If I don't, if I have to reshare the stream, if I'm trying to click something, will it go through? And hold on, does that go through? Can you still see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, good. But make sure. Gang leaders known as Barbecue is doing this stuff. I don't know if I should play it. Can I play it? Let me see if I can play it.
Yeah, it's going to play, I think. I'm pretty sure. Let's make it a little bigger.
Can you see it?
Yeah. I see something. It looks like an ad or something.
Oh, an ad. Oh no.
Yeah,
Okay.
It says gang leader.
Okay. It didn't share it. It didn't share. It didn't share. Hold on. It didn't share. It opened up in a new window. Hold on.
Yeah, I've done it before myself, so
yeah, it didn't share
it's
correctly.
A shit show, so it's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, because I when I clicked here, now you can see that probably.
All right. Yep.
It's really short. Haiti, they're declaring a state of emergency in Haiti. People are leaving right now. They're escaping because these gangs of cannibals are looting and killing people, eating them, and people are escaping them right now. It's insane right now what's going on. The insanity is going on here. And then here's what this is B-roll of what's going on here. And I'll show you. I'll share this one right now. I'll show you this. What's going on here, and they talk about it. Where let me go here.
Yeah, I've only seen one video, and I haven't clicked on another one since. It had a guy in the street, and they were attacking him, and they're ripping off his clothes and stuff. And then a guy got over him and bit off his penis.
Oh God! Did you see this?
Did you see that video? After
I don't want to see that video.
God. Yeah, after I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, I can't watch this stuff." It was disgusting, and it was an actual video.
Can you share the one what I have there now?
Yeah, it was horrid. I was like, "Oh my God, these people are coming to America."
Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, that looks like the same one you had up earlier.
Yeah. Okay, so Haiti's most notorious gang leader, known as Barbecue, may be the most powerful man in the nation. The prime minister remains unable to return home. On Sunday, the U.S. announced that troops had evacuated Americans from the U.S. embassy. Additional troops were brought in to secure the diplomatic compound in Port-au-Prince. Jay Chezes, the leader of the notorious G9 and family gang, is commanded in bulk of gunmen steering anarchy in the capital, and he vowed to fight until embattled Prime Minister Errol Henry resigns. He says here, "I'm ready to make an alliance with the devil, ready to sleep in the same bed as the devil," Chezes told supporters. And so then this guy is just doing a lot of shit. And you actually had, where is that one?
How did they overthrow the government? That's what I don't understand. They didn't have an army?
They don't. Well, the thing is that, remember, the Clinton Foundation did a lot of shenanigans there, and they caused a lot of problems. So the Clintons are behind all this bullshit in Haiti right now.
I can believe that.
Let me show you this one here. You can see this. And share that one. Let me know when you're sharing it.
Okay, it's up.
So basically, Matt Gaetz is telling here, incoming Haitian invasions. Department of Defense officials testified before the House Armed Services Committee that Biden administration acknowledges there is anticipated massive migration from Haiti into the United States. So right now, Governor DeSantis is filing an order in Florida for possible Haitian invaders coming in. And you have a little video here that tells you about what's going on right now. Make sure that it's on, and we can hear this.
So what's the difference between Haiti and a failed state? It's telling, right? We can't really identify them because the gangs are in charge. The government has been thrown out. And as a Florida man, I'm deeply concerned about this wave of people that we're about to have, that we are having, coming from Haiti, and it will accelerate because I've gone to Opelika and I've spent time with the folks that are engaged in Operation Vigilant Sentry, and they say the number one push factor that drives these Haitians into Broward County, Palm Beach County, where they don't disperse throughout the country, they stay in Southeast Florida, that driving factor is the deterioration of conditions in Haiti. So what are we doing to prepare for that wave and to ensure that these people are not paroled into the United States as the administration has done with people on the southern border, but instead are repatriated back at the dock at Port-au-Prince?
Mm-hmm.
Congressman, we're doing a number of things to ensure that we're keeping track of the situation and we're prepared. At the moment, we have not yet seen large numbers, what we would characterize as a maritime mass migration, but we are alert to that.
Mass migration, though.
We are alert to that possibility. I think you're right that the driving conditions in Haiti could very well press more people. So we've recently approved some additional assistance that we can provide to the Coast Guard. I think that has now fully been approved. We'll be providing notifications if we haven't already to provide additional shipboard assistance.
Because I've talked to the Coast Guard, and what they say would really support them would be more naval vessels, would be DOD support. And because I think you correctly said that there is an anticipated mass migration here, there are specific legal authorities that we can access that I would implore you to access. Specifically, George W. Bush signed Executive Order 13276. And in that executive order, there is the ability for any president to designate an anticipated mass migration and then get gray hull naval vessels into the Straits of Florida to deter that migration and then to repatriate those people before they get to Florida.
See, it's already out there. They already have this going on. And what they're doing is that Gates is telling us, and we knew this from the very beginning. When Biden took office, Article 42 was taken away, and you had the migrations coming at the southern border. He has the power to stop the migrations in Florida, but he doesn't want to.
Mm-mm.
And it's this very sad state that we're doing this. We're basically being invaded in a slow way. Going back to the analogy I used of the Taliban exploding the monuments, and we're taking them down brick by brick. We are invading brick by brick over and over.
The thing is, how can a government that's supposed to keep their people safe from invasion or whatever, or dangerous, enemies coming in to our country, right? Russia, or let's say Hamas, I can name off all these different countries that have different, bad people in them. How can our country, our government, say that they're protecting any of us when we can blatantly see that they're just wandering right in and they're not doing anything? And then as soon as we try to defend ourselves because of it, we're the ones that are prosecuted.
But they're not defending. It's the thing. But the thing is that's the thing. The narrative is on the border that the people, the decided invasion, these people are fleeing. They're economic refugees. They're fleeing. They're seeking asylum. They're asylum seekers. That's what the Democratic talking points are. That's their argument. These people want to live a good life, and that's why they're coming here.
When is it too many? I mean, we are trillions and trillions of dollars in debt right now, and we can't even take care of our veterans and our own homeless people.
But then,
so
but then they'll say, then that's why we have to raise the taxes on the millionaires and billionaires, the whole Bernie Sanders line. And you had, I don't know who was Marie basically said that the Waltons don't pay taxes. They pay taxes. People pay taxes. It's income tax, and that's the scheme. Income tax is a scheme. If you work, you pay a certain tax. If you don't work and you have property, you pay a different tax. Capital gains and that nature. And again, that's smart decision making. But they're not doing smart decision making. They're doing bad decision making. And that's the whole throughout the entire board. They're doing it. And what they're doing on Haiti is you had the Clinton Foundation that was set up there that did all this stuff when you had the floods and all the earthquakes that were going on there and the hurricanes, and then they're been there, and then you have people basically now the misinformation realm is going on there. You have like Hollywood actors saying Haiti's a great place to go. Haiti's really nice and all that stuff, and in fact, you even now have the news outlets that are going after Elon Musk and saying the following. And I have this list here. If you can show what I'm sharing. Elon Musk spreads cannibal misinformation during crisis. So there are now, no, this is serious. Now you have outlets are now basically, because again, the truth is being placed on Twitter and X right now. And then you have the mainstream media, you had Rolling Stone, and you have this outlet basically saying that Elon Musk is doing all these bad things, spreading misinformation regarding it. It's not true and all this. And these, again, they are touting these people from Haiti as economic refugees. Why don't you just open their doors? We have, and again, but the thing is that they're doing it now where they did it in Boston, they're doing it, I think they did it in Minnesota, and they're doing it in other places now where they're telling people, why don't you house a migrant family? Why don't you have them come into your home and then you can welcome them in?
No way.
And they're doing this stuff. And again, it's basically trying to, and it's slave labor. You had this one lady who was saying, "Oh, I'm so nice now. They're cooking all the food for me, and they're doing the cleaning." It's just it's your house. Well, I can't say it here. I know what I want to say. The house Negro. I'll say it that way.
But the thing is, I watched, what was it, a couple of years ago, there were a couple of documentaries, and they were showing the early release programs from a couple of different states. And I don't remember the exact states it was, but I just remember them talking about how horrid it was, because like 80% of these people they were bringing out and putting them back with families, letting them live with them and helping them get a job and all this stuff to try to inject them back into society, right? And these guys were raping the people they lived with. They were robbing the people. They beat them. Some of them were murdered. Okay. And this is what these people were doing. So either the program was really fucked up from the beginning, okay, the people that were picking the people to come out were picking the worst of the worst, thinking that I don't know what they were thinking, because it wasn't them at risk. See, that's part of the problem. If you were taking somebody, if you had to go, let's say we were all told we had to go in and pick one dog or one cat, right, from a facility, that every single person had to get a pet, okay, to empty all the animal shelters, okay? So every one of us went in and we're going to pick a pet. So are you going to go in and pick the one that's snarling and scratching and barking, wanting to rip your face off? Or are you going to take the one that's cowering in the corner? Okay. This is that's what I mean. So more than likely, you're going to take the kitten, the small babies that can be trained as they get bigger, or you're going to take the old dog that can barely get up and get around to give him the last few years of his life a happy place. Or are you going to pick the snarling, horrible dog to bring it into your house and let them chew your kids up in your house to bits? No, you're not going to do that.
Or you get that dog, that snarling dog fighting, cockfighting, drug dealing. Again, these people will use and abuse these animals in any way. So then these animals will be taken. And it's just insane.
But what I'm saying is a normal person like you or me and Orange Hat are going to take one that we feel we can bring into our environment and it will be safe, because we want to help, but we're not going to endanger ourselves and our family to help. That's what I'm trying to say. And you got government now that wants you to take these people that we don't even know if they've even had mumps or rubella or any of these diseases, and just take them and put them in your house. And now you got two small children that's never had mumps. You know, you're just not a normal person that loves their kids and loves their spouse or their mom or whoever's living there. It's not going to bring a total stranger or a total strange family into their house without knowing anything about them. To me, that is total lack of no common sense whatsoever. Common sense says don't put your finger in the fire because it's going to hurt. Who's going to keep standing there and doing that unless they're a psychotic person to keep burning themselves? Okay. That's what I'm trying to say. We have a government right now that's repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again. And we are the ones suffering the consequences of it. And until we say F you, and we're not going to take this shit anymore, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that, we're not going to do it. And we stop doing it, just like buying Tyson food or buying any of this other shit. Because if we stop, it will slowly stop. I really believe that. But we just got to get enough people to say something and say, fuck them, or we're not doing it. Because too many people are worried, oh, I won't get my benefits or I won't get this. They can't keep you from getting your retirement if you're a police officer. They can't stop you from getting, at least they shouldn't be able to. And there should be lawyers out there that say, hey, you can't stop these people from getting their food and their livelihoods that they worked all their lives for. You know, we got to get some people to start fighting for what's right. And once we do that, the people that are like what Orange Hat was saying earlier, we need to start putting these people in prison and throwing away the key. My dad thinks that we should just be this giant hole in every single state, huge giant hole covered with concrete, okay, up the sides and stuff, no rails or nothing. You put them down in there with a rope or whatever, and you let them go. And you say if the family wants food for them, they can throw it down there. Or if they want clothes, the family can throw food down there or whatever. And then they have to fight over whatever is available to them. And he said, that's real prison. That's what they deserve. Murderers and molesters and rapists, that's what they get. And to me, it sounds pretty good to me. So it's, you know, to make people actually punished, because how many people that commit a crime that get treated like that are going to want to ever commit a crime again to get caught? They're not. Back when we used to deter crime, it was harder to have people that would commit these crimes. They'd go to a different state.
What is Christian saying? I don't understand. What's he saying? I don't understand. What is
Have
making?
you heard of making friends?
Fiends.
Oh, I thought it said friends, but I don't know.
Fiends, no more. Explain, Christian. Please.
Yeah, we don't understand what you're saying.
Anyway, but on another note, never mind. No. Here we are dealing with a border crisis on Texas and Arizona and California. You have California going to hell. You've got New York, and you had the shooting yesterday. And then you have us sending money to Ukraine. You have sending some money to Israel. You have $700 for the people in for per household in Hawaii.
Yeah.
You had nothing for the people in East Palestine who are suffering, and you had videos you see of people whose voices changed, who are physically, affected by the glass cloud, and nothing was done. And then you have the $10,000 debit cards being given, the hotels, the food, everything that some people like Orange Hat said don't even like, and they just throw it out. It could have gone to somebody that needs it. But at least the government stopped TikTok.
Well, I had a job once. I had volunteered a job, and I was working at, it wasn't a Salvation Army, but it was like a Salvation Army. It was like a big thrift store where a lot of the stuff was donated, and people could come in and get stuff. Like they'd come in with a police officer to bring them and say their house burned down. So they had 3 kids, and these were their size clothes and shoes. And we would get carts, and we'd go through and we'd pick them out, jeans and shirts, nice clothes and shoes and stuff. And then we'd let them pick out toys and things like that. But we also would have, like, the Wonder Bread store would bring in like muffins, and they were like they were expired for one day. They've been expired one day. And they'd bring all this in, and we'd make whole baskets of, like snack cakes and different stuff for the kids' lunches and things like that. And I remember one lady came in, and we had given her a coffee pot and a whole bunch of other stuff because she had gotten, I guess, evicted or whatever, and she lost all her stuff. So we were helping her get her stuff for her small appliances and stuff for her new little apartment. She had a 1-bedroom apartment with a little kitchenette or whatever. And we were giving her a toaster and all this stuff. We were in dishes. We'd gotten all this stuff together. So we'd make it as nice as possible. So they had the women picking stuff out, because if I liked it, then they would probably like it, that type of thing. And then we made a basket of the 1 day expired bread and everything for her kitchen. And she looks at it and she goes, "This bread's expired." And we said, "We know it's 1 day expired, but it's still edible. They have to do these dates, blah, 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 blah." We were trying to explain what the Wonder people told us. And then she pulls his shirt up and says, "This tag is cut." It was a shirt from JCPenney's. JCPenney's had donated like 500 articles of clothing, and we had to cut the tag on every one of them. You know why? So they couldn't take that shirt back to JCPenney's and get money for it. Okay. And it's sad to say that we had to do that, but that's what people do. People that get free stuff take that stuff and they try to sell it, or they try to hawk it, or they try to go back and get money for it.
And that's
okay?
the criminal.
And this lady was bitching about brand new clothes simply because the tag was cut in half. Right. And she was bitching that the food was outdated by 1 day. And I'm like, lady, I said, "Lady, this is free stuff. We're trying to help you, and you're treating us like we're the criminals." "Well, I'm not going to do that." And you know what? I got fired. Because I was upset. This woman was not happy with what she had. I was just so mad.
That happened. Well, for me, like right now, I'm trying to find work, and I have to go and get food, and it's expired. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. I've gone to food pantry before.
I'm grateful. I'm grateful.
Got a couple boxes of food. And, I didn't even look at the dates.
No,
I just grabbed what I knew I would eat.
Yeah, and the bread the bread was bad because it went bad pretty quickly, and I had to throw it out after a few days because it got moldy really quickly. But it's fine. It's like I ate what I ate, and it's fine. I'm still alive. But the point being here is like you got fired, and again the same thing happened to, unfortunately, Haya this past week. She started a job at Macy's, and she stopped somebody from stealing, and they fired her.
Yeah, I told you, it's you. It's us against them.
But I feel bad because she basically said, "I'm trying to help Macy's. I saw somebody stealing." And they said, "No, you profiled them and you can't do that."
See? It's terrible.
And then she still wants to work for Macy's, but I said, "No, don't work for that company ever again." But again, she was, I don't know. I understand where she comes from because she wanted to do, because she was get there early. She would clean. She would put in requests to have the signs messed up. It's not dirty, and she would go there and clean the sign on the jewelry area.
That's what I do. I do stuff like that all the time.
It's because so messy here.
Done. Okay. To me, if I'm walking, and my sisters, and I walk by and the top of the TV is dusty, I don't know why. I'll just go in the kitchen, go under the sink and get a duster and go and wipe it off. Not because I'm thinking she's a slob, but because I see it needs to be done and I'm just going to do it. And I hate to say that I do that, but I do. That's just who I am. Okay. It doesn't mean I'm trying to be mean. Now, if I was at someone else's house, a total stranger's house, I wouldn't do it. Okay. But my sisters, I'm going to do it.
I have one response. I have one response to the chat. No.
Know what?
Well,
don't do it.
Don't do it. No, I don't know. I know what the hell's going on here. I say no and have a bet.
But
unless you know something I don't know, but I say fuck no. Go to hell. To whoever this fucking piece of shit is. Anyway,
I don't know. What are they saying?
Well, look at it. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, he's wanting on to stream with us or something.
I don't know. Who is this guy?
I don't know.
Okay, good. You don't know. Fuck off. Anyway, leave. Faggot.
The thing is that I just wish more people like your girlfriend. like your girlfriend, okay?
Yeah.
Showing she has compassion, okay?
Yes.
And she has feelings and she cares about others. And she wasn't asked to do anything. She did it on her own because that's who she is.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. That's what separates it. And I can see the people walking by when you're seeing someone getting beaten in the street, like that young girl who got her head bashed against the concrete. Okay. Look at all the people that were standing around videoing it.
Yeah, didn't do anything.
Not one of them walked through. Now, I saw one girl run over there and try to help her, and they beat the crap out of her too.
Right.
But the thing is, all the people that were standing there videoing it should be arrested too. Not just the people that fought, and not just the girl that beat the girl up. And maybe she might even die. I don't even know if she'll live. But she's going to have brain damage or something. I mean, you see her? She was laying there like having seizures and stuff after she beat her on the concrete. It was horrid. But the thing is, the people standing around videoing should be arrested too. That's how I look at it.
Right.
And if I was on a jury and they said they just stood there, they didn't know what to do, but they videoed it, then I would say, well, you could have stopped it and you did nothing. I'll bring this one thing up again. I can't help it. I will never forget it as long as I live. I think it was it Sandusky case, the guy that was raping kids, and he was like a huge coach or something. Okay, when I saw testimony on TV, and they were this one guy was testifying that he heard screams coming from downstairs, and he ran down there, and he ran into this bathroom, and he said he opened the door, and he saw the man in the shower with the little 10-year-old boy. And he said the 10-year-old boy was screaming. And he said, well, what did you do? You try to help the boy? And he said, no. I turned around and walked out and shut the door. I just started bawling.
What's the difference between Sandusky and Biden?
I don't see any difference. But what I'm trying to say is the guy sat there and testified that he did nothing when he knew what was happening. And nothing happened to that guy. Why? Why didn't that guy go to prison too? For not
he should have, because it's illegal to not report a crime in progress.
No, but they gave him a plea deal or something. I don't know what they did, but see, that kind of shit is what's ruining our country, is letting people not do shit.
Right.
They need to stop giving, or when it comes to sex crimes, deals should not be allowed.
But not even sex crimes. That girl that her head was bashed against the concrete wasn't a sex crime. It was a fight. But there was
they're trying her as an adult.
I know
they're trying her perpetrator as an adult.
Videoing it and doing nothing to try to help the girl.
Right.
They should get misdemeanor charges.
Every one of them.
Going back to the other thing I mentioned before, all the things that this government's doing, or actually the inaction of this government is insane, and people are taking up their own recourse. Like people are trying to stop crime. You had Daniel Perry, who was arrested for putting a guy in a headlock in the New York subway system. And yesterday you had a shooting. Someone shot somebody in the head on a subway. And then people were just cowering around asking, where are the cops? It's insane. But again, what the government did do yesterday was ban TikTok, or at least the Congress did. It still has to go to the Senate. And they are basically, it's stupid. The precedent there, in my opinion, is a company, a government is going after a company because of its alleged ties that could spread misinformation. And this is now the first step, another brick in the wall of censorship, that they're going to go after applications. They're going to go after platforms. They're going after podcasters, and they're going to start doing these things. Because you see right now on YouTube, the 3 topics that, again, I've gotten banned for of late, or actually since 2020, was the CDC COVID misinformation, the climate misinformation, and then you have the January 6th misinformation that's going on here. And they tout that all the time. Every video that talks about that, YouTube puts it out there. So that's why my ban has been removed. And I'm going to put my videos on X and Rumble. I'm going to limit my videos on YouTube moving forward. I'm just done with it. I'm not going to deal with this crap anymore.
Well, can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
That video that you put on YouTube that got taken down, did you put the same video up on Rumble?
Yes.
And what happened?
It's still there.
Okay, same thing on X.
Yes.
Nothing happened.
Nothing happens.
Same things happened to me. The exact same video that I lost my channel for a week and a half over is up over on Rumble.
Correct.
And
Correct. So that
put it on here and nothing happened.
Yeah, and that's why basically I want to basically tell. That's why, yeah, and that's well, that's why the thing is you have Google, who you remember on November 5th, I believe, 2016. I say that date, the day after Trump was elected, they had a cry session live streamed at Google, and these people were like the world is ending. It was insane. So these people knew back then, because again, you remember something. Here's this is a true fact. Obama spied on Trump. That's a true fact. And he said he set it everything up back then. Biden is there because of Obama, and Obama is another plant too. He's just a plant. They're all plants. And again, we have to stop this nonsense now. And that's why YouTube is no longer a good place for anything. That's why we go on X, go on Rumble, and other platforms to basically spread the truth. And this is why this.
I'm trying to learn and understand how to do live streams. Thanks to Bruce, I've learned a lot of stuff. Yes. I've come a long way, and I'm learning. And as I can build up, get my people to maybe follow me over there, I'm going to start putting. That's why I started doing it in my Discord. I do exclusive content just on Rumble.
And remember, I can say this. I think I'm the one that can say this. I was the first one there in your live stream, in your first live stream.
I know. I remember because I was trying to figure out how to do it. I'd done it 3 times and sat there and tried.
To the over 160 people out there right now, this is what I'm saying. Janet has done a great job. She was doing her first test stream, and I saw it, so I joined the chat. And then she goes, "Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you do this?" And I was helping her do that. And then subsequently, she was doing other streams. You were doing it, and you were just saying you're trying to learn how to share stuff, do that stuff. Yeah. So it's a process. So the most important thing here is this is a PSA to everybody out there. I know Orange Hat, I do, Janet, some people I know Brian from the Front Porch Conservative, and a few others. We have channels out there. Like and subscribe to Janet. Follow her on Twitter. Follow Orange Hat. Follow myself. All over. Follow people that are the people that you are in the chat. Also have channels. Follow them. You say that. What can I do? You have a voice. You have internet access. Say something. Get out there. I was banned on Twitter 10 times. I opened a new account. I would just keep on going and going and going. Now I haven't been banned yet because, again, I'm speaking the truth. And it's funny. Everything that I've said, they have taken me down and I come back. And again, there are still bastions out there. Facebook, Meta, through Instagram is bad. Google is bad. But X and Rumble are good. And then a few other ones that are out there. And I haven't been on Odyssey in a while or anything like else, other one, Gab or all like that, because again, they make it difficult. But again, just try and change what you're doing, because things are only get worse, because you have right now you have the whole NATO thing with Russia. They're trying to egg us into basically saying Russia's the enemy. They're not. Russia is not the enemy at all. China is China's been set up to be the supplier of the United States. This is going back through the 90s when you had Ross Perot talk about the great sucking machine of NAFTA. And you have this is all from that. It stems from those things. And I voted for Perot twice because I just said I'm done with it. I usually vote against somebody. I don't vote for. The only person I voted for really was Trump. The second time around, I didn't vote for him the first time because again, he said he was a Democrat and that he switched. He took over the Republican Party, and again, the one good thing that's come out of this whole thing is that in 2016 he got the nomination and he won. He did win 2020, and he was stolen from him because again, the Democrats and the states had set this up. Because remember, 20 years before 2020 was 2000. And what happened in 2000? Bush won. But then they kept on saying that Bush didn't win, that the Supreme Court gave it to him. And back then they vowed to play the long game and to get every Secretary of State to be Democrat. And then you had that happen in Arizona. You had that in Pennsylvania. You had that in Georgia. That's how they win. They played the long game to take elections and steal them. And they're going to do it again. But again, what Laura Trump and Scott Plessler are doing now with the RNC, they're going to start getting the get to outvote campaign in areas. So I'm going to do that myself now that this is official, because it happened today, basically, where they started doing this. I want to offer my services because, again, I'm sick and tired of it.
Yeah, see, that's something I do on Spaces all the time is I get on there and I share information on signing up to work the polls. Because I tell people, if your butt was sitting in that chair when you came in and said, okay, everybody's got to leave. We have a bathroom overflowing. It wasn't even in the room that we're in, okay? I would have said, okay, if I got to leave, I would have said, okay, everybody at my table, let's pick up our stuff and leave, okay? Because I took an oath that said I won't leave until all these votes were counted and the books and everything would not be out of my sight. We would all watch these things, period. That was what we said. So if we were told we had to leave, I was going to take it with me. And then that would have caused a big stink because they would have said, what are you doing? You know, you can't take that. Well, what do you mean? I swore an oath to a judge, made me swear till I do this job, and I'm going to do this job with or without you, because you can't tell me to leave. You're not the judge. It was just some lady, you know what I mean? So the thing is, they wouldn't have been able to cheat in front of me because I would have caused a stink. And that's what I'm saying. If we have enough of us sitting in those seats as a Republican, independent, or a Democrat, it doesn't matter. I don't care what branch you are. If you believe in the truth and you want people's vote to matter, you can do it. Go sign up to work the polls in your district or wherever you are and make sure they don't cheat. Period. That's all. We got to do that because we got to help Scott Pressler. We got to help all the other people that are out there trying to do the right thing and make it fair as possible. I'm not saying we're going to stop all the cheating. All I'm saying is that the people won't be able to come in with boxes and boxes and boxes of ballots and run them through 5 or 6 times if your ass is sitting there, because that ain't legal.
Right.
See? So that's what I'm saying. I think we can make a difference. And I know people get sick of hearing me say it because I say it all the time, but we have to. I don't know any other way that we can do it. And we can do it. You and me and other Americans just like us can make a difference by doing that.
So let me ask you a question. This is totally off topic, but on topic per se. Because Joe is right. Blondes do have more fun.
But this isn't really blonde. This is like a gray. It just looks blonder in this way the light is. But it's
so then here's a question I have. So then,
because I was doing things I was dressed up like for cosplay for like playing Dungeons and Dragons, like, you know, a fae or, you know, a person that's a cleric or something like that.
Do women's hair change naturally in color?
Yeah, I think it lightens over time.
Okay, how does that happen?
My hair is dark brown, okay, but when I started tanning and stuff, and as I've tanned, my hair's gotten lighter, more and more highlights in it. It's a lighter color, so it does happen.
Would you tan?
It accentuates, yeah.
Yeah, that's why when you go to like, say you go to California and you'll see a lot of people and they have a lot of highlights in their hair, or they're blonde and it gets blonder from they're in the sun all the time.
Yeah, but the thing is that Haya is never in the sun. She doesn't like being in the sun, but her hair is getting blonder. And
well, maybe she's using a rinse on it to help it go blonde. Because lemon juice.
No. She basically says it in a different way. She says it in a very cute way. Of course, she goes, "Your love is making my hair blonde." Like, okay.
Well, all I know is my sisters, when I was young, I remember my sisters getting bottles of lemon juice and spraying it on their hair when they went out in the sun. And they made their hair lighter, lightened it up. It didn't turn it blonde. It wasn't peroxide blonde. You have to do a lot of You have to go through a lot of chemical process, which I will not do. That's why I wear wigs.
No, it's more brownish now because she sent me a picture of her. Well, like when I first met her, she had black hair, and now it's like a brownish, reddish brown.
Darker. Mine gets darker in the winter because I'm not outside as normally. But since I started tanning, okay, because I've been doing it almost a little over a year now. I go do my workout every other day. And sometimes I do it every day, depending on whether, like tomorrow, I won't be able to do it because I'll be playing Dungeons and Dragons. Then Sunday I'll go to the gym. But and then I also tan. So I tan for 8 minutes every time I go to the gym. So my hair has lightened up. It's not going to become blonde because it'd take a lot more sun than that to do it. But it does have more. The reddish parts of my hair are blonder looking, lighter because of it. But that's it.
And Joe is right. All it takes is for evil to thrive, is for good men and good women to do nothing.
See, I've wore blonde wig and I've gotten lots of compliments on it, and I've worn red wigs and I've gotten lots of compliments, and I get okay when I've got my normal hair. So it's like guys like blondes and redheads. They're more than they do brunettes. I know. I had two sisters, one that was blonde above me and one right below me, and they took all my dates. So, plus they were built like Mae West figures, and I was like tall and slim. So I didn't start getting my boobs until I was.
But is it more? But when it comes to that, is it more about personality or more about the body?
I think guys are more interested in what the girl looks like than they do care about whether they get a personality.
Bullshit.
Because I have,
personality is the biggest trigger for me.
Yeah, maybe you. There's very few guys like that though. I have been with other girls, tall, short, chubby, all different size girls, and gone out and done some dinner, go to play golf at the Top Golf, stuff like that. And guys will be immediately, almost every guy will look at the two blondes that had the big chest. That's the first ones that they all look at, every one of them. And when we're at a bar, that's the first ones that get approached. The same two people because of what they look like.
The first one I noticed, but not the first one I
She was wearing a bikini, so of course.
Well, no, we were wearing blue jeans and tight shirts and stuff, but they're all dressed. We're all dressed nice, but it's just that men seem to be attracted to women that look a certain way more than they do another way. Now, if you work with a woman and you get to spend more time with her and you get to talk to her, other things about her will come across to you to be more sexy or appealing. Okay, over time, because you're finding more about them, so the intrigue starts getting built up, and that makes their eyes prettier, or they have nicer lips now, or who knows? You start noticing other things that you wouldn't have noticed if they were just walking down the street. You see what I mean? So then the personality kicks in, that kind of thing. But for just instant attraction, if I see a guy, I saw a video the other day, I posted it on my Twitter. It was, or X or whatever. It was a woman, and there was a guy walks in the door, and he's a tall Asian guy. And he takes off his suit coat, and he hands his bag and his jacket to this woman, and she puts an apron on him. And then he starts cleaning the house and just on his hands and knees, scrubbing his stuff. And I was like, where can I get me one of those? Not just because he was good looking, but heck, he's going to clean the house for me, And I know there's tons of guy friends of mine that would hire a hot babe that wear nothing but a skirt and a skimpy outfit and walk around cleaning. He's not hiring her because she can clean. He's hiring her because he likes looking at her bouncing around while she's vacuuming and stuff. That doesn't mean she's doing a better job.
Now, here's a question I've had for you. So then, there are women out there. Let me complete the sentence. There are women out there who love to go and clean and dress like that.
Yeah, I'm not saying there aren't.
No,
but what I'm saying is a guy isn't going to hire. Okay, if a guy could hire two women, this woman's kind of heavy set or whatever, and then this other woman's a hot looking, looks like she could be a pinup in Playboy, right? And they're both the same price, or maybe the expensive one, the girl that's hotter is more expensive. Okay, and the guy goes up and he's like, okay, and they're going to clean 3 rooms in your house, and this is the rate. And they're going to look at the two people and they're going to go to the good looking babe.
Yes, They've actually done the study. They've done the study, and this is you can look it up, where they had identical twin girls.
One dressed frumpy.
One dressed frumpy and one dressed nice.
Oh, hot and sexy, yeah. And they were for the sexy one.
Teaching kindergartners. Kindergartners, children. And they said which one did a better job, and the sexy one did the better job.
They said yeah, I saw that. It was adorable. The little boys that were sitting at the desk, and the teacher comes in and she's like, "Hi, I'm Miss So and So," and they look at each other like, "Oh, how pretty she is!" And then as soon as she leaves, they go, "Oh my God, she's so pretty!" You know, they're like going nuts. But that's natural. That is a natural thing. But what I'm talking about is, men say that they don't want that women shouldn't, be choosy about guys. Now, see, I can tell you right now, when I see a hot guy, I'm not even thinking if he's got money. That's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at whatever I'm looking at. I'm not thinking about, oh, I bet he's got a big fat wallet. Okay, I'm more likely to see a guy driving down the road.
Thinking of whether he has a big fat something else.
Some guy driving down the road, driving in let's say like a Corvette, okay, and he's older, maybe 60 or whatever, and he's got the windows down or whatever, and he's got sunglasses on and stuff. I'm gonna say, yeah, that guy's got money. Not because of what he looks like, but because his car, period. Okay. Now I've met 4 or 5 friends of mine that I've got that I had in New Orleans that were friends. They had nice cars. One had a Charger, another one, because they did stuff on cars. Right. And guess what? They didn't have any money, but they dressed like they had money. And the girls were always wanting to, oh, I'll take a ride in your car, and then later on when they found out they didn't have any money, they didn't go out with them again. But the guys were good at pretending like, wow, I got money, because of the way they dressed, the way they fixed their hair, and the vehicle they drove. So you can get a girl, but to me, a guy that treats me with respect and is nice to me, I don't really go for looks. I mean, it's nice to have a nice smile, or they're cordial. They're very, attentive. I like a guy that's attentive. I want a guy. If a guy pulls my chair out for me, man, that's impressive to me. Stuff like that, little things that guys just don't think are that important. I've even opened the door for a guy, and I've had guys say, "Thank you." And I'm like, "You're welcome." But, why is it wrong? Because, I feel that way. But see, I have people make fun of me because of it. So, you just can't please anybody. So I don't try to please anybody. I just try to be myself. Just try to be myself. And I tell other people, be yourself, and you're gonna learn so much more about other people.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. The most important thing in any relationship that you want to do, you have to be true to yourself. You have to be it's not about you finding the right person. It's basically you saying that you're ready to be with somebody, and this is who you are. Don't change who you are.
Don't you think you deserve it? You know what I mean? I deserve someone that's going to treat me the way I want to be treated. Correct. If they want me to cook for them and clean for them and bring them, dinner or breakfast in bed, or do different things for them, special things that other people aren't doing for them, then why wouldn't I want the same thing? Right. I don't know. I think that a partnership is what it should be, not, well, you're the woman, you should do this. I think that's just stupid, and that's outdated. But that doesn't mean that I don't believe in tradition. You can have a traditional relationship where the woman does that laundry, but he can come and help hang up the clothes and things like that. That doesn't mean it's just woman's work. I don't know. I just don't agree with that. Even because I can go out and push mow the yard, I can edge, I can rake, I can, do a lot of things, cut limbs. And just because I'm a woman, does that mean I want to be a man? No. It just means I want to have a nice looking yard. It's common sense. I don't know.
Well, it's funny. It's funny. It's funny per se, because like Joe's talking about petite brunettes, which is basically what Haya is, and she's well, I'm 6'2.5". Okay, I have size 16 feet, and I've got big hands. So it's me. She's not just 5'1".
She looks like a little dwarf next to you when you touch her with your hand.
She's 5'1". So she's tiny.
She's tiny. Yeah, I'm 5'9". So I'm tall.
I'm 6'2", size 13. I don't know, average
So.
hands.
It's funny because I've talked to a lot of guys, and I've met them. I'll be sitting down with other people, and they'll come over and start talking to me and stuff. And then they'll say, "We'll say, hey, are you thirsty or whatever?" And I'll get up to go get something. I'll go, "Wow, you're really tall. I didn't realize how tall you were." So because most people I'm standing around, they're shorter than me.
What are you,
all the
5'9"?
women. And then I'm wearing heels, so I'm even taller, when I put my heels on. So, a lot of people don't like that. But, when I was doing stuff in the movies, and they needed an actress to be next to the other actress in a conversation or whatever, they didn't want another actress or all the other actresses to be 4 inches shorter. So
right.
I would want, I was lucky because of my height that I got picked to be with lots of people because of my height. And I just had to put on flats if I wanted to be a little shorter, and I had to put on some heels, and I was a little taller. So, you make that actress not look like she stands out like a sore thumb because everybody's short. And you'd be shocked how many short people there are, because there are more short girls out there than there are tall girls.
Yes, that's very true.
It really is. So I've been in a whole group of them. And Sandy fits right in because she's 5'7". So she fits. She always thinks she's as tall as me, and I'm like, no, you're not. I've been around you my whole life, and you are short. So to me, she's short. But Kathy's even shorter than her. So
exactly.
That's the way it is. But I want to say thank you to you guys for helping me tonight. It's almost 2 hours we've been going, and I got to get up tomorrow and do play Dungeons and Dragons all day. So
yeah, and you already had a drinking stream before this one.
Yeah, I was drinking for 4 hours, so yeah, I'm have a headache, but it was fun. I'd never done anything like that in my life. It was a lot of fun. And I got to hang out with all nerds. They were all into Dungeons and Dragons, and we talked about all kinds of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. And a lot of people that don't play just don't, they just don't get it. But I don't play lots of video games where you have shoot 'em up and Halo and whatever those other games are. I like this. This is a role play game, where you pretend to be something and you act out the character, and it's fun.
Nope.
But thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
So what are your plans, Orange Hat? What's coming up for you?
Sunday is my weekly recap. You guys heard of that show Shogun?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, some poor bastard decided to complain that there wasn't black people in the show. So that's coming up on Sunday night, plus a few other topics like Robert De Niro and his irrational and delusional fear that Trump is going to kill him.
Yeah.
De Niro, God.
Plus another couple of articles, more entertainment related. But Tuesday is going to be Clash of the Titans versus Wrath of the Titans, continuing with the 1 versus 2s.
Yeah.
Tuesday night is the Barroom podcast, where me and a couple others are on my buddy Society Reviews channel. Wednesday, me and Mara are on her channel talking Leprechaun 2. And Thursday is going to be 47 Ronin. So, yep. Other than that, I'm on the shit show or Orange Hat Uncensored on my channel. So, yeah.
Well, okay, Ruben, it's your turn.
Well, now that I'm back online, I can post again, because again, this is the kickoff, because last week I couldn't post at all. You can find me on YouTube, Rumble, Instagram. So basically, I'm still continuing videos on my weight loss quest, and I'll be doing more on Rumble on that. I'm going to talk more about what's going on and putting everything. I'm going to tackle all of the windmills out there. Climate change, COVID lockdowns, vaccines, bullshit, global warming, all that crap. And that's going to be on Rumble. And I'm going to start doing more on X and doing what I can to basically take back what we're trying to do and make America great again by the individual. Go out there, like Janet was saying, work the polls if you can. Be part of your community. I'm trying to find a community. I'm looking for a place, and basically Haya has basically said to me, because she wants to go back to Philadelphia, but she's open to anywhere now.
Yeah.
So as soon as I find a place I can go and start new, I'm going to go move there. I'm ready to go. and start living a life, start building a family, and family. That's something I've always wanted, and then having opportunities for it. So we're gonna do stuff. So I'm gonna talk to her about it. So she sent me a picture because she was getting ready for.
Aw, yeah, I love her haircut.
I know.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. She did is she actually basically said I told her, it says you should change your hair a little differently, because she was basically doing it like a half cut, like the part in the middle. I said do it asymmetrical, see what you like it. She likes it now, so she's doing it. So
Well, it's fun to try. That's why I love wigs so much, because I can be a blonde today or have red hair tomorrow, and have short hair or long hair.
That's a total. There's some wigs. Well, she always wants to wear outfits. That's a thing.
See the outfit I have on? I was trying to dress, like in theme for the DD.
Wait, Ken's, wait. That's a good outfit.
Yeah, it's real pretty. It's a dress, but it's like.
Oh, it's a dress. Okay, great. Okay, I thought it was
I was just trying to dress, and then I wanted to have my hair, a certain way, and I had a bunch of different hats and stuff on during the game, being fun. But just because I was gonna play Dungeons and Dragons, so I wanted to kind of like be in theme a little bit. So, and I did get to dress up on this week, basically, since Bruce is on his new job. So I miss that a lot if we don't start doing it. But I have been getting offers from other people. Hey, I'll do the show with you. So I don't know. I told Bruce, so I'm gonna let him try to work it out and see if we can figure something out.
Yeah.
Because it's his idea, anyways. He's the one that asked me where else to be at. So we'll see what happens. But I just want to say thank you to everybody again. Thank you for the chat, everybody hanging out, because we had 218 right now are watching us.
Nice.
Right now.
Yeah. Follow Janet, please. Follow Janet.
Yeah, follow all
Orange
of us.
Chat.
We're all on X.
Chat. Follow each other on X all over the place.
And I'm on Rumble as Janet's Universe. I had Janet from Another Planet, but I forgot my password. I could never
put the link. Put the link in there. Put the link in the
chat.
chat.
It's just Janet's Universe. Just type it in; it comes right up. I don't.
Janet, yeah.
There's nobody else. Nobody wants to be Janet from Another Planet. But oh well, it's fun. Thank you so much, you guys, and I'm glad we got to talk about some of this stuff, because some of this stuff is just. It's disgusting to be where we are right now.
You know what they say? It's a balancing act. Oh, just kidding.
Yeah, basically it is, though. It really is. But thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and enjoy your family. Enjoy your family and friends this weekend. Thank you so much.